Hey, welcome back in Occupied Democrats, and it is a fantastic Friday. And why is it? Because Donald Trump just keeps on losing. Oh yeah, in this breaking story, he lost bigly. And if you agree with me, that makes it a fantastic Friday. Be sure and subscribe to the channel because in this breaking story, Donald Trump pushes the envelope obviously and commonly too far because, I can do whatever I want. You remember when he continued to say this?
I have an Article 2 where I have the right to do whatever I want as president, but I don't even talk about that.
Tyranny.
Because in this fantastic Friday, Donald Trump losing breaking story, his big seditious unlawful threat to elected officials regarding their stance on the military disobeying unlawful orders. Oh yeah, check this story out because he lost again. Here it is. Flurry of receipts. Ex-Trump official says courts just vindicated Dems. He threatened. President Donald Trump just lobbed death threats at a group of Democratic military veteran lawmakers for reminding the troops they are required to refuse illegal orders. But then a series of courts hit him in the face with precisely the reason that reminder was necessary. Former Trump administration Homeland Security staffer Miles Taylor wrote for his Defiance Substack on Friday. The Democrats in question, which include Senator Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat of Michigan, Representative Jason Crow, Democrat of Colorado, and Representative Chrissy Houlihan, Democrat of Pennsylvania, put out a video this week stating that the Uniform Code of Military Justice requires illegal orders, like in order to shoot unarmed civilians to be disobeyed. Trump hit back on Truth Social by first demanding they be arrested, then writing seditious behavior punishable by death, then retweeting another user who said George Washington would have hanged them all. Despite this, wrote Taylor, rather than unify and repudiating the vile remarks from the president, Republicans immediately echoed Trump, daring Democrats to name one illegal order anyone in Trump's government had been asked to carry out. Some similarly accused Democrats of sedition, despite the lawmakers merely telling government workers to comply with the law. This was a big mistake, he continued, because within 48 hours, a flurry of receipts arrived. On Thursday, Taylor noted a federal judge ruled Trump's orders deploying the National Guard to take over law enforcement in Washington, D.C. exceeded the bounds of statutory authority, which came shortly after other court rulings striking down deployments in Memphis, Portland, and Chicago. This is now the second court in 1 week finding Trump's domestic troop deployments illegal. But that's not all, he said, because at the same time, a new report revealed Trump's Justice Department overruled a military lawyer who warned lethal strikes on ships in the Caribbean suspected to be carrying drug traffickers were illegal extrajudicial killings. And a grand jury is investigating whether the DOJ's criminal investigations into Senator Adam Schiff, DCA, and New York Attorney General Letitia James involve people illegally impersonating mortgage investigators. While all this is going on, Taylor added, yet another federal judge escalated a contempt probe into legal deportation flights, and analysts at Just Security published findings that Trump officials have ignored 26 court orders so far this year. In other words, the lawmakers were right, wrote Taylor. The Trump administration is putting federal employees in an impossible position. They're asking them to do things that the courts are easily finding to be illegal and unconstitutional, and then they're threatening those employees not to come forward. Those Democratic lawmakers, he concluded, were not criminals. What they did was not sedition. It was not treason. It was American. And the past 48 hours proved they were absolutely correct. I've said it on multiple occasions. I'm going to say it again. And I understand what Donald believes he learned in his first term and why he has come out from the word go, swinging and playing this second term the way he has. Set his age aside for a minute. He's just a guy who's lived his whole life as a dictator, and he expects it and he demands it, and he wants you to bend the knee every day and twice on Sundays. So I understand why. But part of his problem, whether it's Doge, Elon Musk, and whether it's all of the pushing he's done and ICE and the absolute illegal should be barred activity of Pam Bondi and the DOJ doesn't matter. What he's done is he's done so much so fast that it is now catching up with him. And I bet you in the next 60 to 120 days, you're going to see a lot of judges, a lot of courts, and potentially even the Supreme Court push back and push him back into place because Article 2 doesn't let you do whatever you want. You guys like and share the video and stay frosty. Have a good weekend. Speed trap, new automatic $340 speeding fine sparks major U-turn. American drivers need take note. Residents of Kersey, Colorado were flabbergasted to receive $340 fines for speeding on Weld County Road 49 nearby State Highway 34. The automatic fines are sent out by a speeding camera installed in the area, with those going 25 Métis or over receiving the $340 fine. However, residents are concerned of the ethics of this camera's speed trap-like placement, which monitors an area where the speed limit suddenly drops from 65 to 45 mph in less than a quarter mile. Drivers who were going just 5 mi over in the 65 mph zone were resultantly hit with the huge fine, already calling its legitimacy into question. However, these same tickets cite local ordinance which caps the fines for speeding camera tickets at $40 generally and $80 in school zones, a far cry from the $340 fine many received. While state law also caps these fines, a subsection within it allows for upper limit exemptions when the driver is caught going 25 mph or more over the posted limit. Kersey countered this point by saying the ambiguity of the law doesn't suggest exactly what police should do in those cases. Other jurisdictions which have recognized this ambiguity took different approaches, all of which explicitly detail their handlings of such situations in local ordinance and rarely enforce fines approaching Kersey's $340 value. This controversy culminated in a lengthy board meeting behind closed doors, where the town ultimately decided to pause the issuance of the $340 fines. This understandably led to questions regarding refunds of those tickets which were already paid. When calendars switch to 2026, millions of Americans will be hit with new IRS regulations regarding catch-up contributions to 401k plans. Those who are middle-aged and high earners will see changes to the way they contribute money to their retirement accounts starting in January. In September, the IRS revealed new 2026 rules regarding 401k catch-up contributions, which are optional amounts that taxpayers 50 and up can contribute to their retirement plans beyond the standard $23,500 limit. Workers can normally choose to invest this additional money in either a regular 401k plan or a Roth 401k plan. However, starting next year, certain Americans will have this choice taken away depending on their income. Those who pulled in more than $145,000 in the previous year from their current employer will be forced to put their catch-up contributions into a Roth 401k plan, ultimately hitting high-income earners with an upfront tax burden.